The latest installment of Julian Assange's show is premiering today here on RT, with the FBI now apparently among the ranks of loyal viewers. The agency is said to have been given the green light to launch a surveillance mission on the prominent whistleblower and everyone in contact with him. A number of his guests have been stopped and interrogated by agents, with one even offered the chance to turn FBI informer. RT's Gani Chichikan has more on the story.
U.S. officials say there is no indictment against Julian Assange, but apparently the U.S. is going after him after all. In their quest for evidence, they might be watching Assange's show here on RT, or else how would several of the show's guests end up interrogated by U.S. officials about the WikiLeaks founder? This week's episode features one of them. That's Jeremy Zimmerman, an internet freedom advocate who's based in France. At the airport, traveling from the United States to France, he was stopped by self-identified FBI agents and questioned about Julian Assange. The WikiLeaks website says Mr. Zimmerman was threatened with arrest and imprisonment when he asked about his rights. This all happened after his interview with Mr. Assange, where they talked cybersecurity and freedom in the face of ever-expanding government surveillance. Here is a bit of it. Don't miss the whole thing here on RT, running all day.
No, that's a fact. Technology enables total surveillance of every communication. Then there is the other side of that coin, is what we do with it. We could admit that for what you call the tactical one, there are indeed some legitimate use. Investigators investigating on bad guys and networks of bad guys and so on may need, under the supervision of the judicial authority, to be able to use such tools. But the question is, where to draw this judicial supervision, where to draw the control that the citizens can have over the use of those technologies. And this is a policy issue.
So there was Jeremy, and a bit earlier, another guest of the show, internet freedom activist Smári McCarthy, the co-founder of the Icelandic Digital Freedom Society. He too was stopped at the airport and questioned by U.S. officials about Julian Assange. He says he was later followed and approached by 3 U.S. officials in Washington late at night and asked to become an informer. Sounds like something from a movie, as far as the number of people detained or arrested shortly before or after the show. Assange might be breaking some television record. Among other guests, there was the president of the Bahrain Center for Human Rights, Nabil Rajab, who was beaten up at Bahrain's international airport and held in prison for almost a month after recording an interview with Julian Assange. So what can we expect? As of now, the UK court has authorized Mr. Assange's extradition to Sweden. His lawyers have less than 2 weeks to contest that decision. In Sweden, he's facing quite thin allegations of sexual assault, which reportedly had to do with consensual but unprotected sex. But his supporters are saying it's not Assange's unprotected sex that they're looking into, but rather a way to get him to Sweden, where it would be arguably easier to hand him over to the United States. Judging by the reports about people being interrogated, one might say that the U.S. is building a case against Julian Assange.